They told you to be kind, to smile when it hurt, to always be available like your silence, your space, your soul didn't matter, and you accepted that. You learned to answer even when your heart screamed no, to explain yourself even when nobody asked, to bend, to mold, to be pleasant, just so others would feel comfortable. You were trained to be reachable, predictable, agreeable, and you wore that mask so long, it almost felt like you. But now, pause for a second and ask yourself, what did all of that ever give you? Did it bring peace, power, respect? Or did it simply turn you into a puppet, reacting to every look, every word, every whisper, a puppet whose strings were pulled by anyone who noticed your buttons? Because yes, the world is full of experts at pressing buttons, and the only reason they succeed is because you leave those buttons exposed. This is where a misunderstood concept enters: becoming unreachable, not as an act of hiding, but as a declaration of dominance, of self-mastery. You don't need to build emotional walls to shut people out. You need to stop reacting, stop giving your power away with every outburst, every rushed apology, every desperate explanation. Silence is not coldness. It's a calculated strategy. Mystery is not detachment. It's magnetism. There are people who walk into a room and command the space without raising a voice, not because they intimidate, but because they don't beg. They don't trade their truth for cheap validation. They don't explain themselves for crumbs of attention. Why? Because they know this powerful truth. The less you reveal, the more others lean in. Humans crave the unknown. We're addicted to the mysterious, to what we can't tame. And that's why unreachable people captivate us. Not because they hide, but because they refuse to be reduced. Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means liberating yourself. Let go of that relationship that suffocates you. Let go of that job that bleeds your soul dry. Let go of the need to be right, to be understood, to be liked. Because the more you try to hold on, the more power you give away. Dependency is the enemy of strength, and you cannot be truly unreachable while still chasing applause. Even your explanations, they're a form of control you surrender. You don't owe the world your reasons. You don't need to defend your peace, because truth is, the ones who judge you, they've already written your story. They're not searching for facts. They're seeking confirmation of their own assumptions. So, let them. Be silent. Let time speak in your place. In a noisy world, the one who stays quiet holds the true power. In a world begging to be noticed, the one who vanishes with purpose becomes unforgettable. Being unreachable is not being cold. It's being clear. The one who reacts to everything is controlled by their surroundings. The one who chooses how and when to respond. They control their path. This isn't emotional repression. It's emotional sovereignty. It's the power to walk away before a situation consumes you, to withhold your energy from what doesn't deserve it, to embrace silence, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because sometimes the strongest move is no move at all. And when you reach this level of inner command, something remarkable happens. The people who once pulled your strings feel lost. The ones who fed off your reactivity can no longer find purchase, and those who expected to see you crawl are left staring at the outline of your absence. And you move forward, quietly, gracefully. No justifications, no clarifications, no need to prove a thing. That peace is priceless. But to earn it, you must walk through fire. You must let go of everything that ever made you chase, because on the other side of all that noise is you, unreachable, unbothered, unapologetically powerful. Detachment isn't about giving up, it's about rising above. You have to stop needing to be understood, to be accepted, to be loved on demand. Because the moment you start begging for affection, you give others access to your emotional control panel. And once you're reachable, you're no longer untouchable. You become easy to manipulate, to provoke, to drain. The real secret? Boundaries. Not loud ones, not dramatic ones, not ones you post online to prove a point, but quiet, firm, internal boundaries that are felt before they are spoken, boundaries that exist because you live by them, boundaries others respect because you respect them first. And yes, some people will walk away. Let them. That's not a loss, it's a release, because not everyone is meant to walk with you on this path. Not everyone deserves your energy. You are not here to be a rescue boat for those who refuse to swim. You are not an emotional sponge for others to dump their chaos onto. You are not here to shrink so others feel more comfortable. Your energy is sacred and limited, so guard it. Be ruthlessly selective with where it goes. Mystery, stillness, calm. These aren't weaknesses, they're signs of someone who no longer seeks applause to feel whole. They're the trademarks of someone who has chosen peace over performance. And make no mistake, true peace radiates. It draws people in like a magnet. But they don't understand that this kind of presence can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. It's earned. Earned through hard decisions, painful letting go, and putting yourself first when no one else does. So next time someone tries to pull you into drama, pause. That pause, that's your power. Not responding is dominance. Not playing the game is winning. Not explaining is energy protection. Let your silence speak louder than your words ever could. Your self-control is your shield. Your absence is your message. And when you become unreachable, not because you're hiding, but because you've elevated, everything shifts. The people who used to provoke you can no longer reach you. The ones who once expected you to break now face the stillness of your indifference. To be unreachable is not to disappear. It's to appear with impact. It's not about feeling less. It's about feeling what's worth it. It's not coldness, it's clarity, priorities, power. And when you finally reclaim that power, you realize it was always yours. You just kept giving it away. So I ask you now, will you keep reacting to every jab, every whisper, every expectation, or will you start choosing what deserves access to you? Because that choice silent and sacred changes everything. Becoming unreachable is not a wall, it's a throne. It's not fueled by arrogance, but by self-love. It's you telling the world, you don't get access to me just because you want to, but only because I choose to allow it. And that permission is no longer free. It must be earned. If someone tries to cross your line uninvited, let silence be your reply, not out of hatred, but because they no longer have the power to shake you. That, my friend, is the real victory. Unreachable because you've finally become your own master, and that is freedom. And if you're still here reading this, it means something inside you has already awakened. That subtle unrest, that whisper that says, no more. And that's good. That's powerful because it means you're done being the one who pleases, who explains, who reacts to everything. It's time to take back your presence. Because here's the truth. People feel your energy louder than your words. They notice when you're grounded, when you're unbothered. And that kind of energy, it doesn't chase, it commands. You don't have to share your every thought, every plan, or every emotion. Being selective is not selfish, it's self-respect. Becoming unreachable doesn't mean shutting the world out. It means protecting your energy with intention. When you give too much of yourself to too many people, you dilute your value. When everyone has easy access to your thoughts, your time, your emotions, what once made you unique starts to fade. True strength lies in establishing emotional boundaries, not out of fear, but from maturity. It means being able to say no without apology. It means taking space when you need it without guilt. It means enjoying solitude not as punishment, but as peace. There is a massive difference between being alone and being lonely. One is a decision, the other is dependency. And here's the truth. Not everyone deserves equal access to you. Not everyone has the emotional depth to hold your vulnerability with care. That's why guarding your inner space isn't selfish, it's self-respect. And sometimes the silence you hold speaks louder than 1,000 words. When you don't react the way they expect, when you choose calm over chaos, stillness over shouting, something shifts. You create a sense of control, of stability, of respect. People often seek reactions to pull you off center, but if they don't get one, they lose control because self-control is disarming. It neutralizes manipulation. It rewrites the rules of engagement. Now comes a deeper truth one most avoid. That version of yourself you've been playing. The one that pleases, agrees, smooths things over. That's not really you. It might have protected you once, helped you fit in, kept the peace. But now it's a mask, a weight, a slow, steady erosion of your soul. And here's the painful part. When you drop that mask, some people will leave. Let them. They weren't loving you. They were loving the illusion. What stays afterward, what remains, is real. It's raw. It's rare. You'll attract people who value the unfiltered version of you, people who feel your calm, your presence, your power without you having to say a word. And when you stop explaining, stop reacting, stop trying to prove anything, you conserve your energy. And that energy, you invest it into building yourself, into creating something that speaks for you so loudly that you no longer need to. Every time you choose silence over chaos, distance over drama, focus over friction, you are strengthening your identity. And people feel that. They respect that. So, here's the question. What are you willing to leave behind to become someone who no longer needs to react to feel alive? Because to become unreachable doesn't mean you're cold. It means you've finally opened your eyes. You're no longer stepping back from life. You're stepping back into yourself. That clarity, that inner connection, that calm power, it's worth more than applause, more than validation, more than being liked. Now let's take this one step further. It's time to face a distinction most people never even consider. The difference between self-control and repression. Remaining silent out of fear is not strength. That's repression, and it's toxic. But choosing to remain silent with purpose? That's clarity. That's sovereignty. Repression poisons you from within, but self-control, true self-control, builds you from the inside out. And once you master that, everything changes. Think about it. The one who stays silent from fear carries resentment. The one who stays silent from strength builds power. And this leads us to one of the most underrated forces of emotional mastery: active patience. Those who appear unreachable, those who radiate composure, they don't rush to respond, to correct, to attack, or to explain. They understand something most never learn. Time is a weapon when you know how to wield it. Active patience isn't weakness, it's calculated stillness. It's knowing that you don't need to react immediately, because what is rushed rarely lasts. The impulsive person acts today, and regrets it tomorrow. But the one who is patient, they observe, they measure, they act only when the time is right. And that right there is the line that divides those who constantly react from those who silently, powerfully direct. But patience isn't easy. It demands trust in your process, in your timing, in your inner worth. It asks you to stay silent when your ego is begging to speak, to stay grounded when uncertainty tempts you to rush. That internal tension, that quiet resistance is where true emotional strength is born. And now, let's take it deeper. Let's talk about something no one teaches you: how to manage your personal value. Because yes, you decide how much you're worth. And no, I'm not talking about feel-good self-esteem quotes. I'm talking about something real. How you manage your time, how you protect your emotions, how you invest your energy. If someone can capture your full attention without effort, without merit, you're discounting yourself. If someone gains full access to your life just by showing up persistently, you're giving more than you receive. Your value isn't something you say, it's something you show, and it shows in your boundaries. It shows in what you tolerate. It shows in what you walk away from, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Let's break another myth now. Presence is not the same as availability. Presence means you show up with intention. You contribute without chasing attention. You leave a mark without forcing it. But availability, that's always being there, always replying, always giving. And when you're always available, something dangerous happens. You stop being valued. You start being used. And here's the trap most don't see. People fear not being available because they fear being forgotten. But in truth, that fear enslaves them to connections that don't even serve them anymore. Now we arrive at something sacred: emotional dignity. It's not arrogance. It's not pride. It's not cold detachment. It's knowing your worth and never lowering yourself for scraps of attention. It's choosing peace over explanation. It's walking away from people who demand access to your soul, but won't honor it. And most of all, it's this: not everyone needs to read your silence. Because if they can't understand your silence, they don't deserve your voice. And here's a hard-won conscious rejection: the strength to say no to what doesn't align with your growth. Even when it comes wrapped as opportunity, even when it shows up when you crave it most. Being unreachable doesn't mean no one can have you. It means you choose who gets to come close, from a place of clarity, not fear, from peace, not pride. You are no longer available to what used to break you. You are no longer shaken by who stays, or who walks away. You've stopped negotiating your value. You've made peace with loss, and in that peace you found power. So now you connect differently. You no longer bond through wounds. You no longer attract from lack, because your energy no longer begs, it commands. And here's the most subtle but most powerful shift of all: you no longer need to be understood to feel whole. Let that sink in. You don't need to be explained. You don't need to be decoded. You are not here to fit into other people's stories. You are here to live your truth quietly, fiercely, unapologetically. And when you reach that level of self-possession, you stop chasing lightness for the sake of fitting in. You stop shrinking to soothe others' discomfort. You stop rushing to be seen, because now your presence speaks without a sound. If you still struggle, if you still react more than you'd like, don't beat yourself up. This isn't a destination. It's a practice. It's a muscle you build every single day. Now, before you go, I challenge you to write this in the comments. My silence is not absence, it's dominion. Let's see how many of you are ready to rise into that version of yourself that no longer needs to chase, explain, or prove. And if this video woke something inside you, if you felt a shift, a moment of truth, a spark of power, subscribe. Because here we don't chase fleeting pleasure. We chase what lasts. We don't sell illusions. We awaken clarity. And sometimes, the silence we leave behind says more than words ever could. This isn't the end of a video. This is the beginning of you unreachable, unshakable, unstoppable.